Hello everyone, I want to say thank you to all of those who joined our channel last week. We had 70 new subscribers.
Yeah, and we're halfway to our goal of 1,000 by October. We're getting very close to 500, so we really appreciate your support. This week we're going to get into a concept we haven't covered yet, and that's the contact point. And we're going to talk about all the different things you need to know about your contact point and how different shots and grips will affect that contact point.
All right, so the first place that we're going to be starting is with the forehand. And what you have to understand and realize is that your contact point will change quite a bit depending on what grip you hold. So if you hold an Eastern, semi-Western, or Western, those are all different points of contact. Todd's going to take you through this and show you what I mean.
All right, so the two things you want to remember when you're hitting your forehand is that you want to make contact out in front and you want the racket face perpendicular to the ground at contact. If I make contact with the face open like this, I'm going to launch the ball long past the baseline. And if I make contact with the face pointed down like this, I'm either going to hit it in the net or hit the ground first, which we don't want. So depending on your grip, you're going to have a different contact point. If you're in an Eastern grip, which is just past continental, kind of a moderate grip like this, you're going to want to be extending here. I've got my arm extended. I've got the racket face perpendicular to the ground, but you can see I'm right at the baseline on this contact point. This is where I would be if I had that Eastern forehand grip. Now, if I move into more of a semi-Western grip, which you'll see a lot of professionals using, especially players on the tour, they're going to have the face closed more here. And now watch, to get that racket face perpendicular to the ground, I'm going to have to extend it all the way out here, about 4 or 5 inches past the baseline. I'm a little bit further out in front than I was for that Eastern forehand. And if you have an even more extreme grip, that full Western where you get that racket all the way turned like this, now you can see if I want to get the racket face perpendicular to the ground, I'm going to have to extend all the way out there, and I'm about 6 inches in front of the baseline to get that racket face closed. If I catch this ball back here with the face closed that much, I'm going to hit it in the net or down. So I've got to get way out in front like this. So I'm going to hit all those shots. I'm going to use the Eastern grip, the semi-Western, and the full Western. And I want you to see what it looks like and how those different contact points will change based on the grip that I use. All right, so the first grip I'm going to use is the Eastern forehand grip. Watch where my contact point is. It's going to be right about equal with that baseline there. I'll do my split step coming in here, and I'm catching that ball a little bit further back than I would with my normal semi-Western grip. I'm kind of waiting for that ball so that I don't pop it up out here. One more, right in there. Now I'll go into my semi-Western grip, the grip that I normally use, and you can see I'm a little further out in front for that ball. Do my split step here, and I'm gonna get it right out in front like that. One more, semi-Western, getting into my position, right in there. So now, I'm going to do the full Western all the way out there. That to me feels a little strange because I don't use that, but watch how much further out in front I've got to be. I've got to be way out there to get the contact point right. Doing my split step, setting up, and extending all the way out there. And I'm hitting that full Western grip way further out in front than I was on the Eastern and semi-Western grips. You can see that those different grips cause me to have to hit that ball in 3 different places. So it's not about which grip is right or wrong. It's about choosing the correct contact point based on which grip you're using.
Okay, so now we're going to be moving to the backhand side, and we're going to show you contact points for the one-handed backhand and the two-handed backhand. We're going to start with the one-handed backhand, and we're not going to really get into grips so much on the one-handed backhand. There's less variations compared to the forehand. So we're going to talk about a standard grip, which is this knuckle right here in line with the side of this frame. So the grip structure looks like this right here. That gets you far enough behind the backhand that you have a little weight to the ball and it's not pressing on you. So we're going to talk about that grip and how far you actually have to contact the ball out in front of you. So now that I'm holding the proper grip right here behind the racket, as you see when I make contact with this ball is way out in front of me. I'm reaching all the way out here to get my racket face flat. And I'm doing that because if I wait for that ball, it will immediately jam me up. So if I get that beside me like that, I immediately get jammed and it just does not work the same. So I've got to make sure that when I'm hitting the one-handed backhand, that I'm getting behind the grip and I'm contacting the ball extremely far out in front of me. I will say this though, when you are holding the one-handed backhand grip, don't hold it like a baseball bat. Don't hold it in here like this. It's very important that you separate these fingers, you spread these out. That gives you the best feel for the one-handed backhand.
All right, so for the two-handed topspin backhand, we want to start with the grip. And the grip that we want to use is a slight Eastern topspin backhand grip. We're not going to close the face all the way down like we were doing for the forehand grip. And we're not going to close it even as much as we did for that one-handed backhand that Jordan hit. And the main reason for that is that you don't have the same extension with two hands as you do with one. So with the one-hander, you know, I can extend out here and get that contact point out in front early. I can do the same for my forehand out in front, but when I have my left hand on the racket, it's not as easy to get that extension out there. So I want to let that ball get a little closer. I want my grip to be a little bit more towards continental so that I can let that ball come in a little closer. And I want to get low and boom, I want to catch it right there where the racket face is perpendicular to the ground. I'm not going to launch it up in the air because I'm too far out in front. I'm not going to hit it down in the ground because I'm late. I'm going to hit it right there and brush up and put heavy topspin on that ball. I'll hit a few balls off the ball machine and you can see where that perfect contact point is. All right, so I've got that Eastern backhand grip. I'm ready to make contact with that ball out in front. I'm going to do a split step so I'm low, and I'm going to try to get that ball right out in front of me. Right where I was showing you, not too far out in front, but right about there. I'm staying low throughout the shot. Split step, getting sideways and through. You can tell my contact point's a little further back than it was for Jordan's backhand because of that two-hander. One more, split step, getting low in here and through. So there's that contact point right in here. My legs are wide, I'm staying low, and I'm keeping that racket perpendicular to the ground at contact point. You can see that if I catch that ball a little too far out in front and that racket face opens up, once again, I'm gonna launch that ball long, and if I get stuck late back here where the face is pointed down to the ground and it's not quite there yet, I'm gonna be hitting that ball in the net or down into the ground.
All right, there you have it. Now you can see how your contact point is affected by the grips that you hold and the type of shot that you're hitting.
And thanks to everyone that subscribed last week. We're almost halfway to our goal of 1,000 subscribers by October. If you haven't done so, please do that now. Hit the like button, and we will see you next week with another episode on Contact Point.
All right, see you next week.